What's going on, all you awesome people out there? We're doing an ad-lib little show here today. I'm Scott, that's Ryan, and that's Davion down below, currently using his lunch break to chat with us. And this is an unedited, we'll call it lunch special of Tales from the Film Set. I am, of course, of Scott Avarius, as I've labeled myself today, the bronze medal winner in a competition of one. As always, Ryan, Day, Rob will be on in a couple minutes. But gentlemen, how the heck are you?
Awesome, fantastic, and in an awkward situation.
I mean, I've got the first two. I don't have the awkward situation at the moment. I'm thankfully done with work for the day, so I can be here. Nice. But, Day, what awkward situation do you have?
He already said it. Didn't I tell you during break I'm at lunch? At work, doing a podcast.
That's not really awkward, though. I mean, awkward would be like, you show up there and your pants get split or something,
No, but I mean, this is kind of fun, though. I mean, they're being able to have 5 or 6 chance, being able to go ahead and, see what Day has to do with, within his job. Because that's the thing. As actors, we know each other from, like, what we do on set, thus the title of the show. But rarely do people ever get to see the other side, the thing that actually makes us our 9-to-5 money in order to do the acting that we want to do. So here we have Davion working in his office, making sure that the camera is off so that this way he does not get in trouble, and we appreciate that.
Yes, indeed. So, all right. So I figured let's roll with this. We're going to be talking a little Totally Spies here because there's a live action version of that coming with Will Ferrell. Shirley MacLaine's film is in a little bit of concern/hot water because of some issues that happened, which I have personally dealt with previously. I'll have a story or two on that. Yes, this is a weird time for the show, but you know what? We're weird people, so why not? Ryan, why don't we start? Yeah, why don't we start in this case? Actually, you know what, Ryan Day, since you guys broke this, the series Totally Spies on Nickelodeon is being converted to a live action series. This is something that
Pause. Not Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network.
Dude, shows how little I know about.
Technically, it did show on both. The thing is, Totally Spies was a French-created animation, so it got licensed out to practically everybody.
I'm quasi-right.
So, pretty much everybody except for Disney played Totally Spies.
In this case here, though, looking at it, what are your thoughts? Will it work? Will it suck? Will it what?
Well,
you can go ahead, Ryan.
No, I mean, here's what I will say about this. Now, when I saw that the story and that it was going to be done by Amazon, which, as of right now, Amazon has not necessarily been bad with their adaptations of things. They've done well with The Boys. They've done well with Fallout. Say what you will about Lord of the Rings, but after the success of, Barbie, I can see Will Ferrell going ahead and seeing something like Totally Spies and being like, you know what? That could work. And really, any fan of the show knows, I mean, it was pretty much just like funny, kind of almost slapsticky sort of humor and involved with, some of the missions that they went on. But really, it's just 3 young women who become spies. And it's like basically Charlie's Angels, but a little bit goofier.
And younger.
And younger. And I can absolutely see this working in a live action format.
Day?
Do you think otherwise?
Give him a second.
Nope. Everything is good. You're correct on everything on that aspect.
Now, as usual, I'm nervous on something like this by virtue of the fact that it's another live action remake. There has been some gold lately. We'll use One Piece as an example. Some other things have actually worked out somewhat well, but there is a certain fear that it's an easy cash grab for stock prices.
Well, the thing with this is that we are basically talking about a show that has been on the air in one form or another, one channel or another, for like 23 years. The show originally premiered in 2001, which when you look at how Sam and Alex and Clover are as characters, yeah, you get that early 2000s aesthetic to them. And they've been able to drive that home all the way into their longer length films, recontinuations of the series. Totally Spies is a franchise that has weathered generations and decades. So I feel like a live action version of it is kind of just par for the course. Now,
Hmm.
as for Will Ferrell's involvement, I will laugh if they end up making him Jerry with his bald head and his little pencil mustache and being all prim and proper. It's like you put that in Will Ferrell, I will laugh just from that, just from him actually taking like a particular role that is not necessarily suited for him and being able to work with it.
Hmm.
Kind of like in the same way
I
that Joe Rogan has inserted himself in things like Sausage Party and Invincible that he has helped produce.
Or John
and
Cena
also
and pretty much anything he ends up in these days.
Right.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I would say this. I really don't think it's the Will Ferrell factor. It's more of who they have as the actresses that's playing these three characters that's going to make a difference.
Right. No, that's going to be key. Who do you get
Sure.
to cast as Alex, Sam, and Clover? Especially Clover,
You know,
because I feel like
yeah,
you really gotta get that like Beverly Hills Valley Girl aesthetic right with her. And
correct.
Sam being like the leader slash smart redhead type. Alex being a little bit of the more, I don't want to say ditzy, but in comparison to the three, she is dumb as stuff. And then Clover is just pure California. Like you really got like you almost have to get like a Samara Weaving, but maybe younger version to play Clover.
Right. And the
But
thing about it is with this show, it's basically it brings back nostalgia. Like you have to do it right. If you don't do it right, you might as well not even try to do it at all.
it's like
So
One Piece.
no, it gives me Powerpuff vibes, like you said, Charlie's Angels, all mixed into a cartoon aesthetic where you enjoyed it for what it was. Um,
Well, I think that's
and the
also
key,
going to be a real determining factor. Like, do you stay cartoony with something like this, or do you try to make it more realistic?
I
Because,
would say
mind you, they did
make it
try to
more
make,
real. Okay,
what was it?
so,
It was Powerpuff Girls. They tried to make a live action Powerpuff Girls on the CW,
right,
and they had to age them up a bit, and it was supposed to be a little bit more teen, young adult themed,
correct.
and that got shafted. So it goes to show that you really have to get something like this right because others have tried and failed.
See, the thing about the Powerpuff Girls live action, it never saw the light of day because there was some situations with NCW
That
in a
it,
way where it wasn't a product. It was just CW was going through stuff and they had to can a lot of stuff that was supposed to be in production.
mm, well, Warner Brothers
CW
in general have been doing that.
CW's tried to right that ship for a lot of years now. Pretty much ever since they've been questionable for a while, but especially in like say the last 10 or 15 years, aside
Hmm.
from honestly a lot of their DC content, which obviously went downhill, it's been a little bit challenging on that side of the fence as well for them. Their ratings have pretty much never been there.
Now, with something like
Hmm.
this, where it's going to be on Amazon Prime, you do have a little bit more quality control, I would say.
Well, you can get away with probably more, at least to a degree. But again, how adult do you make this? I mean,
I
we
don't
saw.
know if you necessarily make it adult because again, Will Ferrell, based upon his work in Barbie and everything, I think you can do grown up while still keeping the goofiness of the original show, and that'll definitely come through with the character.
You have to wonder in this case also if X-Men '97 had an impact because people were like, okay, you can do a series like this. This worked. Maybe we can do some flavor of our own. And who do we need in there? Oh, throw Will Ferrell in it because he'll do pretty much anything for a paycheck.
Oh, now come on, that's
So,
harsh.
dude, basically, okay. Let me define the role of Will Ferrell in any project. He's
Okay,
tall. He's quirky. He occasionally yells. You throw that into something like Totally Spies, and it works. And basically because of the fact that it's not a knock against Will Ferrell. I mean, this is a knock that I have against Hollywood as a whole. if you go back, and I'm going to hike up my pants here and yell at the government for a sec. So give me a sec. Hang on, I'm going to hike up the pants. There we go. Right up to the rib cage on this stuff. I'm going to yell at clouds and shit.
Well, we're not doing this the week of the debates.
Yeah, well, I'm a master debater. But in this case, back in the 90s and early 2000s, you went to the movies to see the highest level of actor that was out there. Now, Robert De Niro has a TV show on Netflix. Sir Anthony Hopkins has a TV show on Peacock. It has watered down Hollywood in such a degree that pretty much anyone will be available to take a paycheck as long as it's given to them. There is no separation anymore. So Will Ferrell doing a TV show, I mean, okay, he did a guest spot. He did a few episodes in The Office. Fine, that was getting rid of Steve Carell. Good pickup, and then they broke the character's neck and he was gone from the series. But in this case, yeah, I mean, the checks are there, the money is there, and they're like, "Here, Will Ferrell, have money," and he's like, "Okay," that's how it works. That's unfortunately how Hollywood is now. Every TV show here how much
make the show with a couple of other producers. So I mean, it's not necessarily like they're going ahead and just throwing him the paycheck to simply star in it. They want his production team to be like, "Hey, let's see your vision." And mind you, Will Ferrell has done a pretty decent amount as far as like very sensitive and yet still child-oriented things. Aside from Barbie, let us not forget his work in the Lego movie is one of the things that really made it work, both as a voice actor and as a live action actor in that thing. So
Yeah.
Will Ferrell, he had his time where he was doing like his Adam Sandler kind of goofiness, but he has matured. He has grown up, and I am willing to see what he has as in this perspective, because really, you don't necessarily. That's the one thing you don't want to do with Totally Spies. You don't want to make a female-centric show that has humor, but also looks down on the protagonists. This has to be uplifting. This has to be positive. This has to be something that is going to warrant female fandom to glean onto. Not just the nostalgia fans, but also new fans to get into it.
Now, here's the question that I've got with something like this. And I'm going to basically be pulling a page at Star Wars Theory and the rest of them at this point. Will something like this be woke? Because, I mean, you got a DEI index over there with your three main leads.
No, technically,
It could. It depends on if they stick to the characters as they were originally created. And mind you, they were originally created back in 2001. So this is a character base for them to work off of that is now decades old. It will need probably a little revamping.
I guarantee this is going to be a question that's going to get asked. 100%.
Yeah.
It probably will. It probably will, especially after Rings of Power, where you had another thing that was like.
Which, by the way, Rings of Power struggling the way it is at $1 billion a year every year is part of the reason why I think Amazon Prime is now running ads during the shows.
Well, I would say this. I'm gonna interject. If it keeps it the way where it was in the cartoon aspect, but not in the cartoon aspect, when I'm saying it's like you make it more realistic, but have the comedy aspect to it. Is it going to be a woke type scenario? It shouldn't be, because of the fact that, number one, this was originally made during our generation, and we enjoyed it for what it was. And did it have some woke moments in it? Yes, but it wasn't heavily pushed on a lot of people,
which is okay. I mean, I'm not listen. You look. You talk. Ryan, you and I talked about Doctor Who earlier. The Doctor Who reboot era. You had Jack Harkness straight up, kiss the Ninth Doctor, and we also had an era where we had an interspecies lesbian married couple in Victorian England. So, woke can be done if it's done correctly, but woke can also be done very badly, and then as a result, get crushed in the user reviews.
Yeah, the thing is, you just have to not bash people over the head with it.
Yeah. Power of one, the power of two, the power of many.
What was that from?
The Acolyte, episode 3. The coven of female witches, up to which 2 of them use the Force to have a child through immaculate conception. That was a song that they sang during the witch ritual.
That's a thing now.
Yeah. Yep. So basically, Anakin is no longer basically we refer to the prophecy of the one who will bring balance to the Force. He was not the first immaculate conception. 2 women had 2 twin daughters now.
And it has nothing to do with the Star Wars lore.
It kind of doesn't. Yeah, I know. But yeah, this is where, like I said, this is why like Disney and Star Wars has gone like completely off the rails, and the fans are like, this has a worse Rotten Tomatoes rating than the Star Wars Holiday Special.
And mind you,
that's why I worry about something like Totally Spies. And listen, if it, like I said, if it works and it's great and it pulls an X-Men 97-esque thing where you walk into it and you're not sure, and then it works, please let's go with God. Go with God.
No, I gotta say something about that. Okay, the thing about it was X-Men 97 actually had a continuation, and they made it a little bit of deltas because they was catering to the generations that enjoyed the X-Men from the Fox channels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Compared to the new Oculi, I guess, from what I'm hearing, I'm not saying I saw it because I really didn't at the time. Like, I heard mixed reviews. It was pushed forcefully about this woken aspects, which had nothing to do with Lucas' creativity of his creation. When he gave it to Disney, he expected them to continue his legacy. And we see what they're doing right now. They're making it into a shit show.
Wow.
And he did speak out about it. And then there was other people that spoke out about other stuff that Hollywood is doing. I'm to the point that I do agree. Well, how are you going to make a product when somebody gives you their product, you just alter it to cater to what you assume is the masses. And it's not what all the masses want. Matter of fact, you have audiences that's on both sides of sex and different creeds and everything and different lifestyles that don't agree with the way things are going with Disney.
Like I said, I fell off Star Wars back when Boba Fett happened. So,
well, was it the Power Rangers episode?
No, that was Netflix.
Might have been. Considering I was able to actually redub that.
Live streamed that one time.
I redubbed that. I have a video. I probably didn't share it to Steampunk, but I have a video where I put in the shift into turbo theme music on that whole scene.
Yeah, but
and it works. I swear to God, it works.
You know what? It's probably one of those things where it works like the Guile theme, or you say Run from My Hero Academia, where you just dunk it in and suddenly, okay, it fits.
This is like, what is it? What was that song on TikTok that everyone was saying, oh, this is easily like an anime theme and you can put it to any anime opening?
I remember something, but I don't remember what it was.
I think something like Dear Maria.
Yeah. But I should have done that already. I don't know. I have a video of the Guile theme tied to Picard, like fixing his uniform. You know, where does this thing where he just pulls it down? I created it. I never uploaded it. Like 2 months ago. You know, but certain songs just work universally speaking. Certain shows, maybe not, and that's my question in this case. You know, like I said, if it's awesome, the fans like it. You know, and it's not trying to push any kind of an agenda or something like that. It's there for entertainment purposes, a la X-Men 87. Cool, go with it. But the fans are going to be walking into this one very curious and being like, what are you giving us here? We're not sure yet.
Yes, exactly. And this is what they...
It's a very cool attitude here. So,
Dear Maria, count me in. That's the song.
Okay.
Or Dear Maria.
Yeah, count me in because I really have faith with on Totally Spies.
All right, cool. So you totally have faith.
Yeah.
You gotta have faith.
All time ago.
If I could touch your body. No, not everybody has got a body like yours. So.
Now, I will pose this like one little small question since we're shooting from the hip here. let's say something like Totally Spies does work. First season comes out, it's great, gets build up for another two, kind of like in the same way One Piece did. Is
Mhm.
there another animated show from your childhood that never really got more than the animated show that you would want to see them expand into live action?
There is.
DuckTales.
Hold on. How the hell are you going to do DuckTales in live action?
Easy.
I actually have one, but you have to keep it to the exact same thing, and you cannot, change it for modern audiences. I would go nuts for this in a heartbeat. Johnny Bravo.
Let me guess. Yes,
Ooh,
I'm down with that.
live
Could you
action
imagine a
Johnny
live
Bravo.
action? Could you imagine a live action Johnny Bravo, but kept with the same energy that it has back then, and not like modernized in any way?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
I feel like
God,
that
that
would be better
awesome.
suited for a movie than for a TV show, but absolutely. You get yourself like the right proper himbo to play
Dude,
Johnny.
you could really crush a live action Johnny Bravo if you keep it the same way.
Cena. Get Cena. Cena for live action Johnny Bravo.
Cena could work, yeah. I can see him be like, "Hey, pretty mama,"
Yes.
him
You
is an
put
opportunity
the
to be
blonde
over-
wig on him, and he's good. Lord knows he needs the hair.
Yeah, that's true. But hey, listen,
That is true.
he has good hair.
He had.
Yeah, well.
Oh,
But yeah, Johnny Bravo could work. Dexter's Lab might work.
Oh yes, I will say DuckTales if you do it right, like they did with but an upgraded version of Howard the Duck.
Which, yeah, that's going to be something we're going to have to talk about. Howard the Duck, the live action movie. It's like, really? Oh my God.
that's a lot of hella CG for a live action DuckTales, though. I mean, you already
Yeah,
saw what goes into like the Planet of the Apes movies.
That's why I said basically Johnny Bravo would be better because you don't have to worry about the budget near as much. You just drop him in a situation.
But you know what? I would think if they do it correctly, like you do it like they did with the Smurfs.
Yeah, as a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Live action, they go to
Which Smurfs movie are we talking about? Are we talking about the one with Neil Patrick Harris, or are we talking about the fully animated one?
Probably NPA.
Neil Patrick Harris.
No, we are not doing that because that was awful.
That was the first movie I ever did background work in, and I did overnights at FAO Schwartz. I mean, $85 for 10 hours. I mean, $8.50 an hour.
But still, no, that was not. I feel bad for Hank Azaria. That did nothing for him.
It was fun.
But think about it. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
But think about it. Think about it in a way where you know how DuckTales will always travel to not different universes like space, different countries around their planet. What if they went to our planet?
Yeah, but that's been done to death. Howard the Duck was done that way. He-Man came over to Earth, alongside Courtney Cox and the dude who played Tom Paris in Star Trek.
But I would prefer that one better because at least it would have some type of setup for like either we went to their universe or they went to our universe.
Yeah,
no.
But see, Sonic did the same thing.
Hold on. Day, you inspired me. Because there is a show that you could definitely do live action, and it would be just as adventure-oriented without needing the ducks.
If you're talking about what I think you are, I will probably say yes. I don't know what he's talking about.
I think I know. Adventure Time?
This show was 80s oriented, but I remember seeing it, and I know it did get a French
revival. I got one that could definitely work, but go ahead.
During seasons. But I'm talking about the Mysterious Cities of Gold.
Okay.
Oh. With the three little kids and like the conquistador that helped them out, and like the big giant golden eagle plane that they flew around in.
Actually, you know what would work also? It's a little bit higher on the budget than say Johnny Bravo. We are the crystal gems.
A
live action.
You want to talk about woke? That would be woke.
Dude, you know what though? No. Here's the thing. I enjoyed the crap out of Steven Universe all the way up to the finale. I mean, start to finish.
Yeah.
I mean, You give me an image of Spinell, and I'm going to cry. You know, but I think something like that could work really, really well. You know,
I
and if you
got
can
something better.
bring back the original cast, and you know, and you break out into the musical numbers that they would do, dude. I think that could crush.
I got something else too.
Please,
Bionic 6.
Bionic
Wow.
6. Ooh.
I would be interested in that just to see them CG the giant robot monkey that they had.
By the way, I'm going to take that background image off because all I see is like, you know, yeah.
Right. No, that's
I
fine.
just realized that that's
Wow.
the only thing that's showing in the bottom corner there.
Oh, wow. Bionic 6 actually wouldn't be such a bad choice in a post boys Gen V world. Like being able to have like these multicultural people go ahead and with these physical armaments and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think the code names would have to be a little bit changed. Karate 1, you can't call that to an Asian guy. But
Well, see,
certainly it could work.
but a lot of the 80s stuff could work. Mask could have worked back in the day. You know, anything that had like a kick-ass intro, Pole Position was actually pretty awesome in its own right back in the day too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if you guys remember
like
Pole Position, the cartoon
Knight
show.
Rider. Pole Position is basically like Knight Rider, but there's two of them. You know, it's
Yeah,
like,
but there was but
What-
dude,
what
I
do we
wanted
really
to be
get?
that guy. But see, here's the thing that pretty much more or less predated Knight Rider, I think. So it was one of those things, or right around before Knight Rider really took off. So every kid, myself included, wanted to be one of those, you know, be the guy or the girl, depending on who it was, you know, because we wanted to have a car that could, you know, suddenly convert to, you know, hovercraft or whatever it was and talk to you.
yeah, there was one that was a hovercraft, and the other one turned into like either a sub or like a water skimmer.
Yeah, and then they had and Pole Position. Oh, dude,
Well, that's what I was saying about Mysterious Cities of Gold. The theme song to that, it is an earworm. It's like,
as long as it's not done by like Daft Punk or something, or you know.
No, Daft Punk. Daft Punk. Are you serious?
No, but here's like I said, you got to do it right. You got to do basically. You can't go by whoever has the big Instagram following right now. You got to have some kind of a magic tribute to it. So give me an example. Transformers. Pretty much every single updated animated series for Transformers. You know who does the main themes to it? Stan Bush.
Yeah.
He does modernized versions. I'm listening to all the discography for Stan Bush. I'm hearing all this stuff like You Got the Touch and all these things, you know, but they're modernized for the next version of whatever the animated series is. And it's still him every time. And dude, it is awesome. I'm in like 2008, 2009 in the series, you know, of his discography. So,
Well, that aside, Rob, welcome.
Hello.
Yeah, well-
I'm here.
Hello.
Go
So we pretty much said our voices on the whole Totally Spies live action series with Will Ferrell. Do you have any thoughts on that series getting a live action version?
I just hope it doesn't get canceled like the Winx series did.
Oh, dude, Winx. Oh my God,
Yeah.
yes.
I am that era that grew up with both. I didn't grow up with this show as much as I did with Winx Club, but I mean, now who did we? Amazon's doing this.
Yes.
Amazon Prime.
Amazon's gonna be doing this.
They do a really good job with their shows, so I really don't have any two concerns with this. The Winx
Except
series
for-
was a Netflix show, and it got canceled after 2 seasons. And I know there's good Netflix shows. Don't get me
To
wrong.
be fair, they veered a lot away from what Winx Club was.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
So that would be my only concern with this is are they gonna if they veer away a lot from the original show, you're probably gonna have a catastrophe like Winx.
Yeah.
But maybe not.
That is a possibility.
Will Ferrell, yes, he's in it, but I love how people are making a big deal, but he could just be a cameo character, kind of like the Barbie movie. You know,
I was thinking
Yeah.
he might be Jerry. That's the thing.
Huh?
Yeah, that's what I was.
He is
If
the
it-
main
if it-
character.
No. If he puts himself in Jerry's shoes, as like
Okay.
the old guy who pretty much like the
Yeah.
Bosley in a sense.
Well,
And
he's
goes
about
ahead and
60
tells
himself
what the
right now at
missions
this point, isn't he? Is Will
are.
Ferrell
I
in the
mean,
60s?
he is
yet?
old enough.
Yeah. Wait, what was the question? Is Will
Is
Ferrell
Will
what?
Ferrell in the 60s yet? I think he is. We're close to
Over,
it.
right?
What's that?
Yeah, better 50s. Hold on.
Yeah, please.
IMDb answers all.
Indeed. Yeah.
Or just say,
Wikipedia,
hey Siri.
yeah.
Hold on.
Well, no, because I don't want to be one of those people that goes ahead and says that, and then everyone else's that's listening goes off. I don't want to be that guy. I don't
No,
wanna
it's
be-
more like, hey Alexa.
But okay, so he was
No.
born July 16th,
56.
1967.
He's
He's
50.
56.
What have I done with my life?
Well, that's why you're an average Joe and you weren't a Spartan cheerleader.
That's
exactly,
why
yeah.
you won a bronze medal in a competition of one.
Yep. And you know what? I had to work hard to even get that far. I came up with a caption like right before I came on. I was like, I'm trying to like come up with captions and like weird quirks for my intros, and I thought, actually, you know what? Yeah, I was going to call myself a silver medalist in a competition of one, but it's like, no, that's not embarrassing enough. Let's make myself a bronze medalist.
You should have said like graphite.
Ooh, yeah.
But yeah, so I think it'll be good. And like I said, Will Ferrell could just be a cameo, or maybe he'll be a main character. Who knows? But I'd like to see though who they cast before I can really give my opinion. Because if they, because a lot of times with today's shows that are back from the 90s, they do like to change the characters and stuff. So I'd like to see who they cast, and I'll go from there. But I'm okay with it for now.
Yeah, no, obviously you have like the two white girls and the Alex, who's Hispanic. So
Yeah.
you have at least a good mixture there. I would say even if you wanted to, you probably could make Sam Black if you wanted to. But Clover absolutely has to be the ditzy Beverly Hills Valley girl, blonde, bottle blonde type. That has to be key because that's where all of her humor comes from.
Right.
Nice.
So, I think it'll be good. Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see when it gets closer, casting and all that.
Well, that's the thing. Considering it's just being announced now, chances are we won't see this show for at least a good 2 years at the bare minimum. So we won't be seeing any of this until 2026, maybe as late as 2028.
Think 2 years, not next year.
No, they're not gonna be able to do things that quickly.
No, because in this case, I'm not even sure it's been storyboarded yet. Because you have to storyboard, then record, then you have to animate, then re-record.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you maybe 18 months you can do. Maybe 18 months.
No.
And I imagine, considering how the show's layout originally was in the animated version, all the stories that they're going to write for the episodes, they're going to have to probably be brand new stories, brand new adventures. You're not going to go ahead and rehash any of the ones from the animated show. Some aspects you might want to rehash. Like as far as like the girl's parents and all that you might want to rehash. But as far as like week to week, all new.
Because it's been 20 years since it's came out.
It's been since 2001, 2024.
Almost 25 years. Probably when it comes out, it'll be over 25 years. You could do the same stories, and you have a whole new crowd that doesn't know anything about the original show.
You could, but why be derivative when you have the opportunity to create something new?
What the Avatar show did.
Say what you will about Avatar, though.
Or One Piece,
Well, One Piece, that was definitely stuck to like the base model of the stories of the East Blue, but it did have its changes, like what you saw with the Kobe and everything.
Yeah. My question is, where did this come out of? That's my question. Why did this even become a thing to do a live action?
Because I saw something that we have what hasn't been live action yet from basically from the a childhood or our parents.
Basically, I think
I want a Yu-Gi-Oh live action.
I personally think it's because Barbie.
Yeah.
No.
No, you don't think so?
Put Will Ferrell in any project that deals with the kids.
You know what? I would say more Barbie than X-Men '97. Yeah, because it was an basically animated thing that was turned live action. People are like, holy shit, it worked.
Yeah. And also, speaking of things that are doing really good right now, Inside Out 2.
Yes.
Yes. With its massive budget, it looks like it will be able to cover it.
I love how it almost made cash in the first weekend.
It did.
Oh wow!
I think everyone was probably
budget was
surprised, not just from the domestic standpoint, but from overseas standpoint. How much?
Yeah.
And it is the fact that we are now in June and we are only now getting like the biggest opening of the year with Inside Out 2, with all the movies that have come out prior, good or bad. It's a little surprising.
I thought the one movie did. The Kung Fu Panda did really good.
It did okay.
Not
yeah.
as good as Inside Out did.
Well, I meant
How did Bad Boys do?
I know
Bad
Bad
Boys was
Boy.
a good second week actually in comparison to its first, but its first was like 50-something million for opening, whereas
I just can't
Inside
wait
Out.
to see what movie passes Dune Part 2. I think this movie will.
Oh my god!
But by the way, Bad Boys Ride or Die at 250 million, so it's already seventh overall, and it's gonna surpass Garfield movie.
No, that shocks me too, to be honest.
What, Bad Boys Ride or Die? Nah,
Yeah.
not made on.
No,
No, that's
I
going to
think
be
it would
making
make-
money until Deadpool Wolverine comes out, because then you'll finally have another action movie to replace it.
Like I said, that was trash.
You know what it is? It's one of those things that you have. The third movie did really well, surprised a lot of people because there's been such a hiatus on that. But you have two bankable stars in a franchise that's now 30 years old.
Yeah.
You know what you're going to get. You know what you're going to get with a Bad Boys movie, and it pretty much stuck to
Yeah,
that.
although critically, I would say it's probably rated lower than some of the others. That's the thing. It's like, I think fans now, they went ahead and they saw it, but like they're seeing that the quality may not necessarily be there. I mean, nothing against Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, but their action days are starting to wane.
Yes.
they need
Well,
to pass some new blood.
It's like Lethal Weapon 4 when Murtaugh and Riggs were like, we're not too old for this shit. We're not too old for this shit.
And aren't
Right.
they making another Lethal Weapon?
They're working on it. We're talking about it anyway.
Well, I think they were talking about it until Mel Gibson became Mel Gibson.
Yeah, but also he redeemed himself with Expendables 3. I mean, Expendables 3 wasn't great, but you saw his acting chops, and dear God, how big that guy is.
He
Yes.
may
Dude,
have
that man is.
raised himself in like Hollywood, but in the eyes of the public, I don't know if that's fixed yet.
Yeah, but you can say the same thing about Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
What did Will Ferrell do?
Or Will
I'm
Smith?
not Will. I'm sorry, not Will Ferrell. Will Smith. Will Smith.
Yeah, Will Smith.
Oh, okay. I would say, yeah, maybe Will Smith. I think the thing that plays into Will Smith's favor is that so many people have now seen how Jada is that it's like, poor Will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have an episode about that. If you go back into the Tales from the Film Set back.
Yes, I create a little bit of a stir based on my own personal experiences.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Dude, I have literally thought about creating a channel just dedicated to like male domestic violence. I'm pretty sure it would crush.
Are you sure you want to use the word crush with male domestic violence?
That's true.
Oh wow.
It would smash, dude. That channel would take such a beating on the viewership. No, but in real talk, because of my own personal experiences with an Amber Heard of my own, a lot of dudes out there are like, you know what? Yeah, I get it. But nobody talks about it. That's the thing. But anyway, irrespective of that, let's talk Shirley MacLaine. So.
Now, hold on. Before we get into this point, now obviously this is a Jersey-centric theme happening in Atlantic City, was where this movie is being shot. So obviously, Rob, I understand if you don't have the connection here, but I have to ask you: do you know who Shirley MacLaine is?
No.
I don't.
Ooh, Day, you don't either?
No.
Ooh.
My question is, do you know the Muffin Man?
This is terrible.
Shirley MacLaine
No,
has a decades-long career. She won an Oscar, didn't she?
I've never heard of her.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, but in this case, she's doing little films here and there. This is a movie that centers around her as a character who's dying. But if it is Margate Memory, there's some questions about what the real name of this title is. But
Massive money problems in the 90s.
Ryan, you want to roll with this?
1934.
Yeah. And still 90 years old, still rolling. She's playing a Dame Maggie Smith here, or whatever.
What
But
movie?
yeah, she did win an Oscar for Best Actress in a Leading Role back in '83 for Terms of Endearment.
Terms of Endearment. Okay, yes.
Yes, but obviously she's got a whole roster of different movies from The Apartment, The Magnolias. She recently would have just been seen on Only Murders in the Building, I think in the most, not the most recent season, but I think maybe like third season.
The third season, and I believe upcoming fourth.
Right. But yeah, she is one of those actresses that's like, she's kind of like a Glenn Close in that sense, where if you have the luxury of being in the same space as Shirley MacLaine, you as an actor count yourself lucky, because the woman does not necessarily do just anything. She isn't one of those actresses that goes ahead and like wants the paycheck. You really have to go ahead and have something that will make her gravitate towards you.
And
Wow.
this script did. This script did. But the problem is they ran out of money. You know.
Now, how does that happen?
Okay,
Especially in Jersey.
Okay, here's how this works, because I have been through this myself. I can't remember the name of the movie, but there was a movie with Amy Madigan. You might remember from Field of Dreams. She was the wife in Field of Dreams. There was a movie. It was Stuck, I believe, is the name of the film. Where what happens is you have to create, when you greenlight a project, you have to have an escrow account that exists to pay your crew. And what happens in certain cases is money can sometimes be pulled from said escrow account to fund additional script writing. Could be fun, use it, for set dressing, changes, various things like this. Sometimes it's used for even, more nefarious purposes. But
so it's not necessarily petty cash, even though
you have to have an escrow account to pay your union crew. And what happens is some cases they will sit there and they'll either pull the money out of there or do some kind of a weird financial deal where that money is not in there. And crew, you don't mess with crew. You don't pay crew, they walk. So with the example of this movie that I believe was called Stuck, like I said, Amy Madigan from like 2011 or 12. What happens is they pull the money from that to fund the film itself. And when the crew has no money, they they basically will have a meeting and they will set a deadline. If you do not pay us by 11:45 on Tuesday, we will walk at noon. And that is exactly what happened with the Shirley MacLaine film. And they will just drop. They will sit there. They will drop their things, get up, and go home. And it is, like I said, it's like a lot of union deals. You have a contract, you are obligated to do it, and if you don't have it, you walk. The problem is the fact that this film here, again, it taints Shirley MacLaine's legacy a little bit, because a lot of people don't understand she doesn't really have a lot to do with this necessarily, but also because of the fact that the film industry is so light right now that a lot of us, even up here in northern New Jersey, are submitting for this thing for Picture Car out of as a Philadelphia local. So I met somebody yesterday. He actually drove all the way from Jersey City down to Atlantic City, which is about a 90-ish mile drive each way, to do local.
2.5 hours if you have the traffic to worry about.
Yeah, but in this case, he was paid for local out of Philadelphia. Not local out of New York, where you get like travel time and big money. You walk in the door like $600. No, you walk in the door like $250 with the car.
Philly tries to bare bones.
Oh wow.
Well, because in this case, Philly has its own SAG contract. So again, what you do is when you're what they call out of the zone, if you are 8 air miles out of a central location, so for New York City, it's Columbus Circle, they have to pay travel. They got to pay mileage. They got to pay all these sort of things. But because it was filmed in South Jersey, it was based out of the Philadelphia SAG location. New Jersey does not have one yet. They might in the near future. But as a result, they, all these people were driving down there. I submitted for it with my car and I never got it. But the end result, what happened with me with Stuck, is it took me 8.5 months to get paid on that. And when I did, I got a discounted number of what I was supposed to get. I got a settlement deal. And I suspect that may happen on this one once they even greenlight this thing. Because you got a lot of basically union actors, you got a lot of basically even non-union, or a lot of crew people who are expecting to get paid and haven't. So a deal might be brokered where you might get a fraction of what you were supposed to get, and you may not get it till 2025.
Which is not a good look for things in Jersey.
Yeah, I mean Jersey will be okay. I mean, there's enough Jersey projects as general. They got the studio space. They got Jersey has a higher tax credit than New York City, believe it or not, or can, depending on your situation. But the issue exists is the fact that there's so little right now that this film, which may or may not be called Margate Mysteries, is there's a name that's been cropping around for a while. That one of them might be an alias, but as a result, this film may not even get made, or when it does, it might not kick up and start filming again until 2025 or 2026.
Oh wow!
At that point, you run the risk of Shirley MacLaine possibly kicking off.
I was going to say that. You know, how much time do you have for your actress?
She was born in 37, people.
I know. So, but 37 or 34, whatever it was. But
either way, she's over 90 years old.
But to her credit, is still going. But like I said, this is a black mark on her because chances are she probably had nothing to do with this, and it's a small independent thing. Like I said, it's probably a 28-day shoot, so it's not gonna, it's nothing really that extraordinary. But yeah, people may not get paid for at least a year.
Which, by the way, just side note, I did find your movie that you were talking about. It is Stuck from 2017.
So people are stuck in a
Has
subway.
Amy Madigan, Giancarlo Esposito, Arden Cho, Ashanti. Don't ask me how that.
Yes, Ashanti was in. Oh my god, I forgot.
Even has Mel Johnson Jr., who's the black guy from Total Recall.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got 5 kids to feed.
Yeah, what is this? An original pop musical film about 6 strangers who get stuck on a New York City subway, been there, together and change each other's lives in unexpected ways. A pop musical? Really?
That I wasn't for that. All I had was like some kind of a pharmacy scene. I was a pharmacist in the back.
You didn't have to sing, did you?
God help me, no. Then you'd never want to release the movie at all.
So the movie didn't get filmed?
The movie did get released, but I'm pretty sure I filmed that like in 2014.
Okay.
It was a while ago.
It was released 3 years later and everything. It was probably like straight to streaming or something.
Yeah.
There was another film that had a problem like that. I never had a problem getting paid, but it was something with Alicia Silverstone, where she was a writer for, had a book signing. I remember because I had to have this kid in the back of my car, and I had to do 35 miles an hour down the highway.
Hold on. I can find it. I'm good like this.
Yeah, because I remember it was. I think the first time I filmed it was like 2010 or 11, and then again like 2013 or 14.
Where she plays a writer?
Yeah.
Well, nothing against Alicia Silverstone. She's great, but
yeah, I don't remember. Boy,
after watching Vamps, it's like I don't really give her too much.
I think the first day they paid me cash. They were like a stack of 50s and 10s. I think I got paid like $60 cash to do that movie that time. And then I got a regular SAG or union right after the next time.
2011.
Go ahead.
So that could have been maybe something like The Art of Getting By.
That sounds familiar.
Definitely wasn't Butter. Wasn't Bam.
No.
It wasn't Batman and Robin.
And then if you go into 2013, it wasn't Ass Backwards. And it wasn't God's Behaving Badly, which I'm sure Rob would love.
Which one?
Well, God's Behaving Badly was another problem. That was another film that had a massive problem. Because they just never.
You had that one too?
No, I didn't. But I remember when it was filmed here because it had a big cast and they just never released the movie.
Three gods living in modern day New York intervene in the lives of a young couple.
That sat on a shelf for years before it got released for reasons nobody really remembers.
Oh my God, the cast in this thing.
Dude, I know, which is why because Felicia Rashad was in that. I'm not even looking at it. And people were like, yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
Oh, Felicia Rashad, the hell with that. Christopher Walken, Alicia Silverstone, Sharon Stone, Kathleen Turner, Rosie Perez, Oliver Platt, John Turturro, Asif Bondi. Like, crap.
Dude, yeah.
Like a who's who of New Yorkers.
I believe, if I remember right, I believe that was filming around the same time as The Avengers was.
Ooh.
I believe it was the same time.
I can understand how there would be some issues there.
But listen, but Avengers came out in 2012. This one came out in like 2014, 15, whatever it was. And nobody saw it. Did you remember ever seeing it?
No, but I mean, seeing Christopher Walken in a tunic, I wouldn't not watch it, but you know,
But it's Christopher Walken, man.
There was one movie with Christopher Walken where he played the cello. It also had the mom from 40-Year-Old Virgin, whatever her name was, Catherine Keener. Anyway, getting off topic.
He's mortal down in New York.
He's down in New York. but yeah, like I said, in this case,
they need more cowbell, baby.
But in this case here, as far as this movie goes, don't expect to hear anything about it for a while, especially with the stock prices for production houses being so low because of the strikes. There's no money that they want to spend right now, which is a
damn shame. Because again, like I said, it's Shirley freaking MacLaine.
Oh, I know, dude. I'm not going to deny that.
This would be like if you got like Rick Moranis back into acting for a movie.
There's a name. No.
Yes. So Rob,
that's a national treasure.
So Rob, think of it like this then. You get Rick Moranis out of retirement. You bring him in. Maybe he's doing a reboot of Honey I Shrunk the Kid or something. He's reprising his Dr. Gene Zelensky show. That sort of thing.
But he is doing
You get him, you place him in the right environment, you get the right cast, you get the right crew. This may be the only time that you actually get Moranis to work. And you can't get the budget properly for the crew to work on the film, and thus everything stalls.
Yeah.
Thus, Rick Moranis, the blessed among men that he is, ends up
The
just
national
sitting there,
treasure of national treasure, my brother.
wiping his glasses,
Shirley MacLaine's bigger though.
drinking his beer. Well, I'm trying to pertain to Rob's general interest here. So I mean, if you had a movie that would pretty much laid up Rick Moranis to do nothing and possibly waste the one chance that you have with him, how would you feel about that production?
Will Ferrell does Elf 2, and then they run out of money and it never gets finished.
Oh wow!
Actually, I don't want Elf 2 to ever happen because that Santa Claus passed away and Buddy's dad passed away.
No, Bob Newhart's still alive, isn't he?
No, Buddy.
No, James Caan.
Oh, James Caan. Okay.
And I mean,
I thought they were supposed to do an Elf 2 or something.
there was rumors of something went online or hold on. Originally there was supposed to be an Elf 2, but Jon Favreau and Will Ferrell didn't get along, so there was no Elf 2. Then about a year ago there was rumors that there was going to be a second one where Buddy was going to take the role of Santa Claus
Makes sense.
And I mean, in a way it makes sense because he's got the most Christmas spirit. But yeah.
But for the progression of the character too, but
Yeah, then he can say, Santa, I am him.
I am him.
By the way, can we just point out also that Rob, there's a short video that went up on our channel on TikTok as well, where he and McKenna Grace shared an Elf moment together.
Yes.
Thank you again, by the way, for posting that on social media. I appreciate that.
Of course.
But yeah, it was him, and McKenna showed her love of the Elf character and movie. And someone in the background was like, I wish I recorded that.
Do it again. I'm like, seriously?
No, and you could tell she was like, no, once is enough. I'm embarrassed enough.
Well, no,
Yes.
because that's when she did the second video of yelling the Santa I know him.
That's
that was
true, yeah.
filmed right after and so yeah, but no, that was a really good moment. McKenna Grace is a sweetheart, and man, I didn't realize how young she is.
Oh yeah, no, she's an actress on the
she's
rise.
17, but she turns 18 this month.
Okay, yesterday I was on set for the first time in a while because, film industry sucks ass.
Yeah.
And it's a movie with the kid that played Bob from It, the remake, Jaden something or other.
Hold on. God, I just might as well just stick on this thing, really. So,
Jaden Martell.
like the kid who played Bob, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry, he played Bill. I'm sorry, Bill Denver. Yeah.
Okay.
Jaden Martell.
Oh yeah, Jaden Martell.
That kid is 21, and I'm looking at this kid and thinking to myself, what are you, 15? I was like, how the hell is this guy 21? My God. But the way
Well, I mean, that's the thing. When you're that skinny, like, age doesn't really show because not even poundage shows on you. So it's like nothing is getting dragged.
But I'll say this though, the way he carries himself on a set, and the way his suggestions and the way he kind of runs things, he's not a dick by any stretch, but the way he commands a set at the age of 21 is very impressive. I
mean, he's been working for quite some time. I mean,
Yeah,
even
but when-
before stuff
yeah.
like that.
But I mean,
No,
I
he
couldn't
had
see like
things-
Tom Holland having that kind of like internal confidence. Or
Yeah,
maybe
no, he
Finn
was in
Wolfhard,
movies
maybe.
like St. Vincent at a young age. He did that Aloha movie where Emma Stone tried to play Hawaiian. He was, I think, the kid in Midnight Special, Confirmation, The Book of Henry. All that was before it.
Oh,
So, I mean,
he did Book of
he's
Henry?
well versed.
My mom's car was used in Book of Henry.
No, that's
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, it's the one where he dies in the end,
it
right?
was ridiculous.
Spoilers. Yeah, sorry about that. But all right, we're pushing 2:00. Dave, you got to go back to work at this point.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I figured as much.
I did want to A quick shout out to Dallas Fan Expo for having us. That was fun.
Yes.
You can do that.
Again from McKenna Grace at this point. So
Yeah.
but-
Dallas had us, and I got to swim with Danny Elfman at my hotel, so that was pretty cool.
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not a euphemism. He really swam with Denny Elfman. Like
No, I really did. There's a reason why I haven't shared the online because out of respect, but I do have a picture that was captured.
So was it a dead man's party or was it just for the hell of it?
But by the way, as long as it's Dead Man's Party and not I love little girls, they make me feel so good.
Okay, on that note,
That was a song that he when he was lead singer of Oingo Boingo, that was a song called Little Girls that he sang.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't in a movie, was it?
No, but prior to the
Right.
movies and everything with like Tim Burton or Simpsons, he was the lead singer of a group called Oingo Boingo. And that was one of the hit songs.
they were in what was it? That Rodney Dangerfield movie, Back to School.
Oh, but I was trying. My brain was thinking Ladybugs, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's where they played Dead Man's Party. They played it at his party in his apartment.
But,
First time I ever heard of it before it became one of those Halloween ones.
yes, kids. Danny Elfman was a singer in a band.
Yes. And by the way, he was really nice. But yeah, at the hotel that we're staying at, just so happened to be the hotel where all the celebrities were at. And Saturday, I went swimming, and 5 minutes after me going swimming, pops up Danny Elfman. And dude, that guy is tattooed to the.
Oh yeah.
His back. Yeah. And I just said hi real quick. Asked him how his first con was. Said it was a little overwhelming, but he'd go to another one.
Nice. So.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I guess Danny's maybe on the circuit now because he's probably going to be promoting Beetlejuice.
Well,
so he's getting out there for that.
Well, this was his first ever convention, so he was popularity because everybody wanted their Nightmare Before Christmas stuff signed. Like now, I have a double signed Funko Pop that's signed by Chris Sarandon, and then on the other side, I had him write "What's this?" and it's signed by Danny Elfman.
Yeah, that's the thing. Chris Sarandon's been on like the circuit for quite a few years. I remember meeting him in Jersey. You know,
over
him and what's his face? The one that played Oogie Boogie. I met him too.
Ken Page.
Yes, Kevin.
Yeah.
So I mean, but when you go there, it's like they had the things for like Nightmare Before Christmas, but obviously he also had pictures of Prince Humperdinck and Kevin. He had his pictures of the big alligator from All Dogs Go to Heaven. You know, it's like there are people that, yeah, there are people as like have very iconic roles, even if they don't necessarily have like the largest IMDb or the largest wealth of movies for them to refer back to. So if they can go ahead and make whatever money they can on the old nostalgia, then they're going to be hitting the circuits.
Which is also kind of funny when you think about the fact that Chris Sarandon is, the ex-husband of Susan Sarandon, who for some reason still uses his name like 30 years after they got divorced.
Yeah, it flows well. I mean,
kind of does.
What would Susan Sarandon's name be if she didn't use the Sarandon?
I don't know. But...
Oh wow! I actually just realized that both Chris and Susan were at the same con.
Which is awkward.
Susan Sarandon.
Well, I'm assuming by now they're probably good.
I don't know. I mean, it would have been funny if they would have had a photo op together.
By the way, her real last name is Tomlin. Susan Tomlin.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it doesn't flow as well. Sorry.
Dallas Fan Expo. It was fun.
All
kinds of different people like Hunt and Gina Davis, Susan Sarandon, Danny Elfman. So those are just some of the names that were there. And got to meet at the hotel and got to capture a picture, even though he wasn't doing selfies at the con. But I got to get a picture with Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime.
No,
I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
By the agent.
Davion's sounding more like Megatron the more he speaks from his microphone right now.
Yeah. Jay's like, I almost got both of them.
You are your bots.
Both of y'all, and I don't think Frank heard me, but Peter heard me. So Peter stayed to take the picture, and then after about 5 minutes later, the agent came up to me. He's like, "Please keep the selfies to the con. even though they weren't doing selfies at the con. They were only doing photo ops. So,
There, listen, it's all rules
Yeah.
and what regs and
Yeah.
Yeah.
you got that stuff. But yeah, make
I
sure
should
you
have asked him
make
how
sure
he
you do
felt
your write up too.
about Hemsworth taking over.
no, I hate that trailer. I hope that movie is trash. I will not be watching that movie. And no, Chris Hemsworth is a great actor as Thor, but not a great Optimus Prime.
But
Well,
but
he's not playing Optimus Prime. He's playing Orion Pax.
Which is Optimus Prime.
But still, two mentalities different.
But he has an Instagram following and he's hot, which is why Chris Pratt keeps getting work.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, if you're Chris in Hollywood, you're set for life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
except Chris Sarandon. Then you're doing cons.
Wow.
Damn.
Oh,
Damn.
no Christmas for you, sir.
Damn.
Oh, you're gonna end up getting that, like, Jack in the Box that's gonna like chase you
Can I
through the
just-
hallway.
Can I just point out that this has actually been a lot more fun at like a 1 o'clock hour? You know, I've been watching the numbers, and I got to say, it's worked out really well. And also, I'm a little more saucy, maybe because I'm not as tired.
Well, don't forget, we also got the California people finally waking up and like getting on with their day and everything.
Let's watch this seriously from a number standpoint. I'm very curious, but maybe it's
I
something
mean,
we
that's
can
why a
work.
lot of California people that I watch, they usually do their lives by now. Going in Raw with Steven Larson, they should be going on by now. John Campea just finished. Christian Harloff. Well, now that Christian Harloff is actually living in New York, and we must get him. Absolutely. If anyone sees this and is going to go ahead and share it, let Christian know. I'm coming for him.
Send me his contact info.
But Geico can save you 15% or more on your car insurance.
And now we're covering the Gotham women's soccer team. So yay.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah,
what I mentioned the other day about basically jabronis and soccer being neck and neck. We just got to bump up. So it's your job to catch up now.
Oh, you want to play that game now? Okay.
Uh-oh.
All right, Davion, you ready to do work tomorrow?
Race to
I-
a thousand, but make it
I-
legit.
Give me an answer. Come on.
I said, aye, Captain.
Okay, good. We'll get Kyle on board.
We
are not losing to your footballers with your hooligan style and all that nonsense.
Well, let's say I will figure out something to make it fun if I should lose, but we'll figure out something to basically as far as numbers go and whatnot. Let me mull this over. You and I can probably talk, but I'm willing to basically put up something on my side. Playing a Ben, basically equivalent of like win Ben Stein's money sort of a thing.
Maybe.
So,
but the fact remains, wrestling will not lose to soccer.
But all right. So anyway, we may as well wrap this up. We're a little over an hour. Dave's got to go back to work. I don't want to get him in trouble. So, well,
on that note, my name is Robert. That's Scott. That's Ryan. And that's Tales from the Film Set.